When starting my Dex challenge, 3 sets of Pokemon haunted my nightmares. The alphabet, whipped cream, and especially butterflies. No joke, Vivillon deserves the Pokedex number 666. It is pure evil. You have 2 event exclusive Pokemon, one of them that hasn't been distributed in about a decade. Then you have some exclusive forms that only appear in certain parts of different continents. This thing has been such a challenge. It is one of the first things that I've worked on as part of this Dex challenge. I've been on the hunt for these since the Game Boy era of this series. And with the fact that the 3DS and Wii U servers are shutting down early April, I wanted to get this video out before the 3DS era video, just in case I can't get to everything in time, especially for those who like to follow along and find these Pokemon with me. But anyway, let's see how I got all 20 forms of Vivillon. Gen 6 introduced a fun little Pokemon called Vivillon. Now, you may or may not know is that Vivillon has 20 unique patterns, where most of them are based on the 3DS's set region, which means some of these patterns are exclusive to certain areas of the world, with 5 of them in specific being exclusive to certain continents. And until dedicated community members can come up with an alternative for the 3DS and Wii U servers shutting down, collecting all 20 patterns will be nearly impossible. Let's start with the hardest two, Fancy and Pokeball. These are event exclusive forms, so no region has them. That is, until the Fancy form became the base form in Scarlet and Violet. Pokeball Vivillon is much more exclusive. Now, I'm writing this about a week before Pokemon Day 2024, so this could change, but as of right now, the last time Pokeball Vivillon was released was in Japan in May of 2016. And in the US, the last and only release was for 1 week in August of 2014. Luckily, I have a workaround. I found a copy of Gen 6's local event distribution software. Now, local distributions are rare here in the United States. However, in Japan and Korea, these are common at Pokemon centers. These events use the 3DS's built-in infrared sensor to send its data. We just pop in the event data for the Fancy and Pokeball forms, and boom, those are all set. Now, let's get into the next set. The ones I actually have. Now, personally, I get the polar pattern, and surprisingly, I have 2 other forms. The meadow pattern, which is the most common in France, hence why it's the default form you see in Kalos, is actually exclusive to Europe. And continental, a common form in Europe as well as Korea and China. I actually got these Vivillon from Europe around the time X and Y came out. These are really cool because they're souvenirs in a way of a trip that I will always remember. Now, just with those, I'm a quarter of the way there. Let's see if I can get any patterns off of Surprise Trade or GTS. GTS is actually where we're going to get the majority of these forms. I got the Japan exclusive Elegant form, which surprisingly had Pokerus, and the High Plains. And that's all I could find on the GTS itself. And obviously, there was a lot of hacked Pokemon on there. But that was just seeing what was on the GTS. Not putting our own Vivillon out there and seeing what we can get. And in doing so, we got the UK and New Zealand Garden form, the South American exclusive Savannah form, the second Asian exclusive Monsoon form, Ocean, which is not exactly continent exclusive, but is certainly one of the rarer forms, Jungle from South America and East Asia, Sun from Central America, Southern Africa, and just the Northern Territory of Australia for some reason, and Marine from the Mediterranean, Spain, as well as parts of France and Chile. Now that we're down to the last few forms, I'm resorting to asking around. I've tried countless sites, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, Reddit even, Discord. I got Icy Snow and Archipelago from Reddit, I got Sandstorm, River, and Tundra from Discord, and I bothered one of my friends for the North American exclusive Modern form. And there you have it, all 20 Vivillon forms. It should have been expected, but the GTS, even for Gen 6, is a useful tool, even with all the hacking. Speaking of which, I've noticed that all of the ones I got on the GTS, besides the Japan exclusive, were all in English. I don't know if it's people changing their 3DS location, or if when people's languages are not supported, they use English, or what. None of them looked out of the ordinary, and don't seem hacked, unlike some of the blatantly hacked Pokemon you see on the GTS. As long as they move over to home, I'm fine. You know, besides the race against the clock aspect with the WiiU and 3DS servers shutting down, it was honestly kind of fun going back onto the GTS and trading a bunch of Pokemon. You know, it's kind of ironic that to kind of showcase how the 3DS has multiple different areas that you could choose from, and having a Pokemon specifically designed to be different in all these different regions where these games are available. It kind of cuts to the core of Pokemon. You need to trade in order to get all of these. And bug collecting was a huge part of how Pokemon was made. I hope you all enjoyed this smaller part of my Living Deck series. It was a concept I was thinking about doing for certain Pokemon, like Unknown, Vivillon obviously, and probably Alchemy. But like I said, the servers are shutting down for the 3DS, in turn making Vivillon near impossible to get all the forms. So that really made me want to push this video out ahead of the general 3DS era video. So if you enjoyed it, let me know, and I could make an Alchemy video in the same vein. But anyways, I'll catch you later.